There you go.
I'm a lover, not a writer, so I basically just write down what I'm thinking in my head, and it sounds good at the time, but apparently I'm just committing like grammar seppuku on the page.
Big dogs are in the house!
Hey! The 84 jersey's out, man. I think this is going to be a fun ride.
Bye, Felicia.
Inside the lane, drive, left, fronted by Punch! Oh my goodness! Where did he come from? Behind the back jam by the big team! This is not Detroit, man! This is the Super Bowl!
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Practice like this. Up. We up.
Straight cash, homie.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Clarksville bullshit, so.
Home run! Welcome back, Lou Collins!
Welcome back to Thunderdome for another We Got the Footy in the Twin Cities, and joining us by phone edition of Andy Must Die, Minnesota Sports Talk, kind of. I'm your not-so-humble co-host at Andy Carlson Show, riding shotgun with my partner in crime, a woman who is all about that Royce man boob, Di Murphy. How you doing?
I'm okay, but I am not all about the Royce man boob. Sorry.
Now, you're actually joining us by telephone today because of technology shenanigans, but we're going to make it work.
That's right. Because technology sucks.
No, technology
Except
is great.
Except for when it doesn't.
I don't want to be back in the 1800s building railroads for people without Twitter, because that would be my life now. Speaking of Twitter, we're at Andy Must Die, all one word, and also the website is andymustdie.com. So we allude to the Royce man boob shot. It hasn't quite gone viral the way I thought it would, but what were your thoughts when you initially saw it?
My first thought was I almost lost my lunch. And then my second thought was, you know what? That's Royce. Like he just literally lets it all hang out. And he doesn't care. Like he does not give a, about anything. So, I mean, in some respects, I kind of thought, all right, go for it, whatever. But then when you actually had to look at it, he was just ugly. It was awful. It was horrible. What about you?
Now, he hasn't gotten to Sid level of DGAF yet, but it's not bad. I can respect that. Now, I kind of have I got a love-hate relationship with Royce. I love that he doesn't care, but also at the same time, he comes off as the grouchy old man way too much sometimes. I know it's a little bit of shtick, but that's him.
He does, and I will tell you this. I just remember, I don't know how long ago it was. It was probably a year or two ago. I was tweeting about, he's like the crustiest, grumpiest old guy ever. And he blocked me. And then, I don't know what happened, but somehow he's like, I was saying something about him, and he's like, I didn't block you. And I went and looked, and he hadn't blocked me, and he followed me. And I will say this, the whole, grouchy, grumpy, crotchety old guy is a shtick to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
I had surgery about a year ago, and he actually sent me a DM asking me how I was doing and stuff, and he was super sweet. So, I'm going to out him a little bit and say he's really not that crusty, and that's just kind of, like meat sauce on K-Fans, a freaking idiot. Well, Royce plays I'm get off my lawn guy, and that's his kind of deal.
Well, I didn't know that hair extensions required surgery, though, Di.
I have never had hair extensions in my life.
And you nappy ass weave.
No, ever, never.
Anyways, we got a lot to get to tonight. The state of hockey is dominating in hockey, oddly enough. Darren Sharper and the legal system gets a foot in their ass in Di time. Later on, we rank the top 5 Vikings according to handsomeness, because that's what's important right now. But before we dive into all that, speaking of crotchety old men, Ted Glover at Purple Buckeye, writer, front page writer for the Daily Norseman for 5 years, one of your BFFs. He gone.
He's gone. And I'm so sad. I mean, he'll still be on Twitter. He'll still be around. But what he has brought to the Norseman has been, I mean, I can't even quantify it. I mean, I'm going to miss it. He's so funny. He's so smart. It's like we give each other all kinds of shit on Twitter, but we're actually pretty good friends. And really, I'm heartbroken. I really am. I'm like very sad panda about it because he's so good at it. And I really wish he wasn't stepping away. But at the same time, I can kind of respect, he just wants to be a fan. He doesn't want to deal with, all the idiots on the message boards and having to ban people. And, I just think this off season has just really beaten him down, and he just wants to be a fan again. So while I respect it, I hate it because he has been a great mentor for me when I went to training camp last year I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I really wanted to interview Captain Munnerlyn, and it was the first day we were there, and I'm like, no, I'll wait. Maybe I'll ask him tomorrow. And he's like, get your ass in there and ask him for an interview. And he pushed me, and he continues to push me and support me, and all of us on the Daily Norseman. So we're really going to miss him, like really a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And, Ted's been on my show, Purple for the Win, several times, and a couple times with you. And you said some very nice things. You've met him hands-on, and Arif obviously had that great little write-up of Ted, and did get all the feels. But I don't know Ted personally. I've never met him before, but he's actually been a big influence on myself from afar as well. Just you can be a fan, but you can still be professional and still have a sense of humor. That's something that I've really looked up to.
Yeah. Stock Market Report, Rick Steeks. The Don Glover quotes. I'm going to miss all of that. And I know that, some of us will pick up some of those things and we'll kind of run with them. I know Eric Thompson has talked about doing the Stock Market Report. He's filled in for Ted a few times doing that. So it's not like the Daily Norseman is dying, but it feels like that. It feels a little bit like a death in the family, and it kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I agree. But, Ted, he'll still be there, and he'll still be mashing away on Twitter, and we'll look forward to all those anecdotes, but we'll miss reading your columns, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And moving on, unfortunately, my bracket is also kind of gone. Now, I'm down only 45 to 42 after the first 2 rounds, all right? Except the downside is I lost my champion. I also lost one of my other Final Fours. So I basically have 2 Final Fours left, no champions left. You're only down 1 Final Four, Villanova, and you still got Kentucky winning it all. So it's very ironic. Well, actually, why don't you gloat first? I'll give you a chance to gloat.
I just have to say that I'm awesome, and even better than our bet, I took that same bracket and I entered it into the bracket challenge, a paid bracket challenge that I'm in with Howard Finker, with a bunch of Strib people. Yep. And I'm currently second out of 66, and that baby's going to pay out like $250.
Are you beating?
I'm hoping
Amelia Reyno.
I don't know if she played on that. I don't know if she. I probably am because everyone's blaming her for their brackets going bust because we don't have free will and we don't choose things. We just blindly follow people. So,
in fairness, she's the Gopher beat writer, and the Gophers ain't anywhere near this damn tournament. So.
Right. Exactly.
Besides, filling out a bracket, it's a crapshoot.
Oh my God! Right? You saw some of the stuff that people were saying about her, right?
I did, and we'll get to the segment a little bit later, but Amelia did an awesome video of reading mean tweets, which it's been going around for a while, except I find it entertaining every single time. I don't care. And she picked a lot of the very PC ones. There were some really bad ones.
Well, I didn't. I just did my own thing. I didn't follow her. I didn't follow anybody. I just kind of did my own thing.
All right. So basically,
But it's not like hard to pick Kentucky, right? I mean, that's not like I went out on a limb there.
Basically, I need West Virginia to beat Kentucky tomorrow. And it's ironic that I need Wisconsin to do really well and probably make it to the final so I can avoid doing a video talking about my love for Wisconsin sports.
Or Chicago.
So go Badgers. And
because Howard did tell me that he has a Blackhawks jersey and a Bears jersey that you could borrow.
Hey, I'll be all up on that. Maybe I'll have the jersey curse as well.
Oh, that'd be nice.
All right, but I had this idea watching the opening weekend March Madness. There needs to be a red zone channel. I like there used to be back in the day when it was just on CBS when they jump around from game to game when it was close.
Oh yeah.
Because the four channels is too much. I mean, it is the once a year time that people care about True TV, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any, I know you're not a huge basketball person, but do you have any favorite moments from the opening weekend?
No, not really. I was just praying for my teams to win.
Did you know any players on your teams?
No. Nope.
All right. One of my favorites was the Georgia State dad, the guy who had blown out his Achilles, and then his son hits the game-winning three, and over Baylor, and then he just falls out the little wheelie chair that they had for him.
That was pretty good.
Wichita State boat racing Kansas because Kansas has been so afraid to schedule them for 20 years. That was awesome as well because screw you, Kansas. And also, this wasn't part of the tournament, but Alabama. You know, they're going hard after Greg Marshall of Wichita State, but if they miss, come on down, Richard Pitino. Come on.
Really?
They can have him.
Oh, yeah. I'll drive him down there.
Because, everyone talks about, oh, this is just a layover for him. He's going to be moving on to a better job anyways. Maybe he doesn't deserve a better job, if he can't get our boys winning.
Or, maybe he could just go.
That too, just hang out in Alabama and sell watermelons and roll Tide.
I would like Shaka Smart.
Mm.
I've always been a big Shaka Smart fan.
Tweets from 2010.
He's never coming here.
Or was that 2012? Anyways, but
2012.
All right, that's enough niceties. Let's start things off with some Minnesota sports news.
Minnesota sports news.
I can't believe we're almost 12 minutes in and we haven't mentioned Adrian's Camel yet.
There are so many jokes that they just totally write themselves.
Adrian threw a Prince of Arabia themed 30th birthday party, complete with him riding in on a camel because he thinks he's a prince, so why not? The oddest thing I did find about it, though, was that Teddy was in attendance. Teddy was there. I don't know.
That was interesting.
I don't know what to make of that, actually.
I don't think you make anything of it. They're teammates. I mean, technically, they're still teammates.
Even though they've never stepped foot on the field at the same time.
Well, they were at training camp together.
They've never stepped on a regular season NFL field at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah, that would be so...
Maybe Teddy had nothing better to do.
It's possible. Maybe he was just there for the hummus. Because if you're going to have a Middle Eastern, North African, Indian-themed birthday party, you have to have hummus, right?
Hummus and tabbouleh. Tabbouleh, too.
And pita chips, and knowing Adrian, he probably had a hookah.
Probably.
Just a little hookah, though. Just a little hookah. And just recapping some of the recent drama, and Dogger said it's in Adrian's best interest to be with another team next season. But today at the NFL owners meeting, Zimmer at the coach's breakfast, which is always an interesting setup, Zimmer laid down the law, and he said, I'm not going to speculate on what he wants or doesn't want. He's under contract for 3 more years with us, and that's why you sign these contracts and why you get these big bonuses. Shots fired. He also continued, we're planning on him being back. We have no plans to trade Adrian. Die. Thoughts on the Zimmer boom switch?
I have a humongous crush on him. I mean, a football crush. He's amazing. Like, he's everything you want in a head coach. Tells it like it is. Shoots from the hip. There's no second guessing how he's feeling. He's very straightforward, and he's right. You signed a contract. I mean, I don't even understand where Peterson's camp thinks they have a leg to stand on here. It's like, I mean, trying to force the Vikings to cut him. I mean, who in their right mind would do that?
No, I don't think they'll ever cut him, and I think his camp actually knows that. And they're just trying to make it really awkward so Spielman will take a low deal. And I'm sure there are many low deals out there, and Rick's probably trying to leverage a higher one, a la Percy Harvin. And he still has a month because there's basically nothing going on until the draft, and most of the free agents that would even rival Adrian are off the market anyways, so there's no rush. So we get another full month of this die.
Yay, that's awesome. Because, you know, none of us are sick of it yet at all.
But, you know, people always say that they're sick of it, except it is kind of a gift that keeps on giving. I mean, Adrian's stupid camel party, the Phil Mackey apology letter, which was the greatest in sarcasm ever. And then if you're not up for sarcasm, the Drew Magery over at Deadspin Piece, he's a lifelong Vikings fan, was basically as blunt as he basically kind of said what Mike Zimmer would say in a private moment.
He was awesome. Not gonna lie, I love that guy.
I agree.
mean, I was reading it like tears in my eyes because I'm like, yes, absolutely. This is a guy that gets it.
Yeah. Now, I would love to write for a place like Deadspin where they have such great legal team. I'm sure at was it Kinja? Whatever their mother company is called, because they write some pretty borderline slanderous pieces, and I love it, though.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
Yep.
It's a great read. It's a very good read.
Also, in the good section is Flip. Little Philip Jerome Saunders flipping out about tanking talk, as apparently during the game, which was not broadcast locally in the Twin Cities on Monday, Jazz broadcasters alluded to the Wolves tanking. And this is from our man, Jerry Segota at the Strib. Quote, "That's totally irresponsible. We're not tanking games," Saunders said. "If that's so, then they got beat by a team who was tanking. We're playing to win. Our guys are out there. We won 2 games ago at New York. We lost in the fourth quarter against Charlotte last night. We're not tanking games. It is irresponsible for them to go on TV saying that. If you work at ESPN, you get fired for saying stuff like that," end quote. Thoughts on the Flip tirade?
I thought it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's absolutely right. If you want to say they're tanking, Utah just got beat by a tanking team. And Utah is actually a really good team right now. They're playing really well. So, I mean, they dressed 7 guys. It's not like they're sitting out superstars because, you know, they don't want them to get hurt or whatever.
They keep sitting out Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, well, he's not a superstar anymore.
They
Sorry.
sold us a bill of goods. It was a bait and switch. They knew what they were doing.
No, nobody in the league thinks Garnett's a superstar anymore.
Nobody. Sell those tickets. Sell home tickets. But
you know what?
We'll always have that game.
It worked. It's working.
And then you sign a guy from the D-League because he's the only one close enough to the game, and then Sean Kilpatrick, and then he busts out for 13 points against the Jazz. Superstar. Rubio, Levine, Wiggins, and Sean Kilpatrick for 3. Let's go.
You know what? This season's done. I mean, they've had so many injuries. I mean, and that's like the Timberwolves way. Like, everybody gets hurt. That's what happens. But this team has so much potential. Like, there's so much young talent there. They're going to be exciting for several years to come.
Hopefully.
Yes, I actually did say that. Yes, I did.
Oh, wow. Look at you with the Rube optimism, drinking the turquoise and green Kool-Aid, as it were.
Well, no, they still need a coach. Because Flip's, he's a great GM, but he's not a great coach.
H the Izzo. He's got to be getting bored just winning and doing this at Michigan State.
Nice.
Yep. Something that is going to be on the rise here in the couple of years is MLS, Minnesota United. They're getting bumped up from something called I can't even remember what the lower league is, but MLS is coming to the Twin Cities, announced today at Target Field. Team will begin MLS play in 2018. Their goal is for a stadium west of Target Field in the farmers market area, currently estimated $150 million TBD on who's going to pay for that. That could be a sticking point still. And Di, are you excited? Are you going to join the Dark Cloud, which apparently is what the MN United fans call themselves?
I'm just going to confess that I am not a soccer fan, or futbol, as they call it, in more refined countries. But I want to be. Like, I think I could get on board. So, mostly because soccer players have really nice legs and they wear shorts. So that's enticing.
Now, see, I'm not going to lie. I kind of only enjoy soccer because, like, during the World Cup and then also some EPL games, it's fun to get up early and then go down to the bar and have a couple of beer or three. And to be honest, the great thing about soccer is it's not like football or not like American football where you have to actually pay attention. On soccer, you can kind of see where the action's going. Usually it's in the middle. If it gets close to that thing with the net, then you start paying attention.
That is a solid assessment right there.
I feel like sports with a lot of downtime are good drinking sports.
Well, that soccer would be one, and baseball would be another.
Well, now, hockey's also a great drinking sport, but because of intermissions.
This is true. They do provide 2 versus 1 in most other sports.
Boom. Speaking of hockey, Gophers women hockey win 6th national title, 3-1 over Harvard. Di, is this a momentous moment in your life?
Not momentous, because they're used to being there. That's what they do. They win championships.
Now, does it PO you a little bit as a female that the Gophers women hockey team crushes and they don't get the same clout as the men, and also the Lynx absolutely do work and they don't get a sniff of any of the other major men's sports teams?
Hate it. Really pisses me off.
This game wasn't even on TV.
No. And how does that even happen? And I know a lot of rubes on Twitter were like, well, why didn't any of the local, stations carry it? Well, you know what? Their rights are owned, I think, by Turner. Mm-hmm. They're not going to, they want the premium, obviously, to carry that. But, why don't you pay it? Seriously. Hockey is a big deal. And the fact that women get so disrespected, that would never happen to the men. They would never not broadcast that. They broadcast the stupid games. And this is the national championship.
Now, it was streaming online at the NCAA's website. And do you buy into the hokum at all that the NCAA wants to hold on to these sort of games so that when they start their own network?
Maybe. I really have no idea.
Yeah, it just
it's
seems
possible.
so weird.
Look what they did. You take a look at what the NCAA did, or the Big Ten did, breaking up the WCHA and forming the, Big Ten hockey, which is a joke. Oh my God, is it a joke?
Now, it still boggles my mind how in the Boston market, which I'm sure there's some people wanting to see the game there, and the Twin Cities market, a channel like 45 couldn't just pick up the rights and just stream it. Because, they show the high school boys state tournament, every single game of it.
But it has to do with who has the rights. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, sticking point, but it's all right. Hopefully next year when the Gophers women hockey wins their 7th national title, it'll be on TV. Speaking of the Gophers men's hockey, they made the NCAA tournament, which I did not know was a 16-team field. I know that now. They're taking on UMD Friday. I did find it kind of neat that there are 4 Minnesota schools in there since this is state hockey. Mankato's the 1 seed. St. Cloud is also in there, and also North Dakota is the 2 seed. So, Di, does this do anything for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it does because it's not the Big Ten. It's, those are our old WCHA rivals, and it's great to have 4 teams from Minnesota represented in the NCAA championship series.
Now, do you buy any of the Minnesota State Mankato, but really Mankato State, their beef that they don't get any love on the Twin Cities Sports Talk radio or in the papers or anything like that, or is that just kind of sour grapes?
I mean, they're not wrong, but they're not in the Twin Cities. I mean, they're in Mankato. I don't think anybody considers Mankato part of the Twin Cities.
You're telling me that a hockey rube from Arden Hills isn't going to be like, Minnesota State Mavericks, let's go. Come on. I can't get enough.
Ermagerd.
Like, what about Sven Eriksson and John Langencooper and other made-up white guy names that I can think of off the top of my head? It doesn't do it? Doesn't move the needle?
I don't think it does. Sorry.
Something that does move the needle and you don't have to apologize for is the Minnesota Wild, something we can all get behind. They won again last night, 2-1 in a shootout over the Islanders, closing down the Nassau Coliseum, which is a dump. Wild are sitting on 91 points, 3 clear of Winnipeg, 5 clear of the Kings in the wild card race, currently in 7th place, and only 3 points behind Chicago in the Central, 10 games to play. Basically, it would take a monumental LOL Minnesota sports faceplant for the Wild to miss the playoffs. It probably won't happen, but it probably won't happen if I can get as many triple negatives in there as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that confused me. So that you're saying they are going to make it, or they can't not make it?
It's a non-zero chance, given what I know about Minnesota sports, that they could miss the playoffs if they just completely die.
Gotcha. They're not going to die.
I know. I think they're going to make it. I actually think they'll lock up that 3 seed from Chicago. But Minnesota sports.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They have a goaltender who's absolutely standing on his head for them, which they have not had when they've gone to the playoffs. They're firing on all cylinders. They're winning on the road. They're winning at home. They're doing all the things that you expect a playoff team to be able to do. And they're hot right now, like smoking hot. And they're having fun. Like, I think they're going to make a run at it. I really do.
Now, Dubnyk, 33 games in goal in a row, might get a break or two down the stretch, depending if the Wild need points or not. I don't know. We'll see. But now, I grabbed this question from Twitter. It wasn't directed at us, but I thought it was really interesting. And this is from your girl, or our girl, Abby. I actually don't know what else to call her, but her Twitter handle is YBBA2026. Serious hockey question, she writes. Do you think Dubnyk is overachieving, or has he always been a good goalie stuck on a bad team, or both? ? Di, what do you think?
For me, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I really think that he's landed in a place that he's happy, he's supported, and the players who are playing in front of him trust him. Like, he's earned that, and they're playing better in front of him because of that. It's like it's both.
I concur. As a hockey novice coming in, from what I can gather, it did seem like he was a good goalie on some really crappy teams. But like, this sort of run is like once in a lifetime, hot as hell in the zone type run. Is that fair?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's absolutely crazy what he's doing right now.
Now, I want to know the Wild hype around this team compared to another Minnesota team that had a good run. And I was throwing out there 98, 2009 Vikings, Final Four Gophers, World Series year Twins. Can you think of any others where it just seemed like there was such a groundswell of support?
Not really. I mean, I think this isn't quite as broad or widespread as the things you suggested. I think there's still a lot of people that aren't on the bandwagon, but who'll probably get on the bandwagon.
Actually, I think it's kind of close to the Final Four Gophers with Clem. Gopher basketball had a little bit of a downtime, so it wasn't as widespread. And it just seems like it was a team of local guys and overachievers just really stepping up their game. Bobby Jackson is Dubnik. Socks and all.
I can get on board with that. I always love Bobby Jackson.
And Sam Jacobson is Parisi, one of us, a good-looking dude.
Oh, no.
Fine. Miles Tarver is Parisi.
What?
Fine. Courtney James is Parisi.
Stop it.
Fine. Quincy Lewis is Parisi. All right.
I'm friends with Quincy, so I'll go ahead and say that's fine.
You talking
text more? Really not.
You talking text more than people know. All right, that's the first segment of Andy Must Die, episode 7 in the books. We'll be right back with a little bit of die time, quick hits, and also who's best looking Viking. We're gonna find out. Andy Must Die, BRB. Love the Minnesota Wild, but can't find enough hockey talk on Sports Talk Radio?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, you're in luck because Justin Jelnick and Joe Hayford have you covered with the State of Hockey podcast, a weekly show that's all wild all the time. No filler, no dreck, no nothing. So check them out at sotsohockey.blogspot.com or at youtube.com/sotsohockey. And if you're all about the live tweeting commentary during games as the Wild make their push towards the playoffs, follow SOTSO Hockey JJ and SOTSO Hockey Joe. The State of Hockey podcast. Let's talk hockey. And coming back from the first break, Andy Must Die, episode 7. And the commercial was for the State of Hockey podcast, and starring my friend Justin Jelnick and also Joe Hayford. Now, Joe mentioned that he wanted to start a Wild podcast with you. Why got to be such a hater, Die? Why'd you have to turn him down?
I can only do so much. I mean, I work full time. I'm a mom. I can't, be on everybody's podcast. Seriously. And do you know how I know Joe? Did he even tell you how I know him?
No, how do you know?
I was his 8th grade math teacher.
What?
Seriously, I'm not even kidding.
Well, I think the most striking part about that is you don't really strike me as a math guy.
Well, I'm not a guy.
I would have gone English for shiz and maybe.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Maybe calculus. Wait, no, that's math. All right, no, never mind.
No, I was an English major. I had no business teaching math, but they were hard up for teachers, and I knew how to manage kids. I'm really good at building relationships and stuff, and it was at a middle school that was kind of rough. So that's how I got the job. Now,
is that the Van Halen song, Hard Up for Teacher?
No.
Anyways, we dug in some little levity because it's about to get serious all up in her. Die time.
Die time. You know you want it.
And she is going to take on Darren Sharper. Now, I know you have extremely strong feelings on this. I'm gonna give you one F-bomb. One really giant, juicy one, because I have to bleep all these out. But before I give you the floor, let's get some background information, because I really want you to get revved up. Now, this is from USA Today. Brett Schrotenboer. Excerpt reads...
Who?
Yeah. Sharper, 39, will serve about 9 years in custody as part of an agreement to resolve all 9 rape charges against him in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New Orleans, and Tempe. As part of the global settlement negotiated by his attorneys, he will serve about 9 years behind bars with credit for time served in Los Angeles. The deal includes a 20-year prison term in California, but because of stipulations in the law and his credit for time served, Sharper will serve a little less than 9 years of actual custody time, his attorney Blair Burke said in court Monday. In addition to the charges in California, Arizona, Sharper faces 2 rape charges in Las Vegas and 3 in New Orleans, so that's 5 more. He is expected to enter guilty pleas in those states within the next month as part of the settlement. But neither state is expected to sentence him to more than 20 years in prison. He will serve all the sentences concurrently with actual custody time amounting to less than 9 years, his attorneys said in court. Sharper will also be on probation for life. So that pissed me off just reading it. Here you go.
Somebody really needs to talk me down from the ledge over this. And by ledge, I mean, praying that Sharper's raped like at least 3 or 4 times a day, every single day that he's in prison. Mm-hmm. If he were an average Joe, he would be looking at least 20 years, like served, at least, if not more. And I'm so fucking tired of professional athletes getting preferential treatment. Granted, he's retired. He's not a current player. Mm-hmm. But you can't tell me that didn't weigh in on this. I mean, how do you give him concurrent sentences? He raped and drugged and raped 9 women. I mean, probably more, because I'm guessing there's some that didn't even come forward.
Probably more.
So how in the hell does the legal system think this is justice? I mean, he's a serial rapist, and they're letting him get away. I mean, 9 years is some shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, well, it's 9 years, but it's nothing compared to what he deserves.
He's going to be out before his 50th birthday.
Oh my God! You know what? I hope he steps off a curb and gets hit by a bus. Mm. I mean, there's no room for people like that. I'm sorry. This is seriously fires me up.
Yeah. Now,
and here's why.
Okay, go ahead.
And I've not shared this with many people, but I was drugged and nearly sexually assaulted. So the fact that I'm pissed off enough as a woman, but the fact that I have that kind of connection to this makes me that much more upset. And it really devalues women in a way that makes me want to throw up.
Now, I'm very saddened to hear that story about you, but I'm of the opinion, I was shocked by this as well. I honestly believe that anything less than life in prison was too good for him. Like, they could just build a new jail around him for all I'm concerned. But do you think that he was given a lighter sentence, not because he was a pro athlete, but because of some of the stories we started hearing before the trial, that he was going to implicate other people in these druggings, in these rapes, including some potential current and former athletes? Do you think that this is not over as far as the people who are going to be charged in connection with these crimes? Do you think he actually flipped and the state attorneys, federal attorneys are working with him?
I guess I hope that's the case, because that's the only thing that would make this even, it doesn't even make sense. I can't make sense of it. But it would at least, if you're getting more people, brought to justice for these horrible crimes. But there are detailed accounts of what he has done, and I don't know how, as a DA, that you make a deal with the devil. I really don't. And
I'm really surprised that some of these DAs cut deal or agree to this global settlement, which I've actually never even heard of before, because all it would take is one case to go to trial, get a conviction, and he's away for 20, 25 years.
There's something going on. And like you alluded to, maybe it's, he's throwing other people under the bus right now, or he's, outing other people, which, great. I hope they suffer too. But then he's getting off light. And to me, that's bullshit. He deserves to get life in prison for what he did. Nothing short of that is acceptable.
I concur. He's just a disgusting human being, and like you mentioned at the beginning, the boys inside don't really take kindly to sexual assault criminals. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Seriously, I hope it is the biggest, fattest, meanest mother effer in there who he gets as a roommate and makes him their bitch, because he deserves that.
I concur. It's just something that you do hope that there was some bigger picture issues afoot, like 5 or 6 people who actually did wrong could get convictions out of this. I get it. But if this was somehow the DAs in all these jurisdictions being collectively so stupid to give a serial rapist 9 years, then we have to rethink what this legal system is all about.
Exactly. And part of that is a bigger picture of how society devalues women. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on, but that's a big piece in this. It's a really big piece.
I concur. And it's just like such a bummer story, because he is, quite frankly, one of the worst human beings that I can think of. Like, athletes-wise, he's right up there with Ray Caruth, OJ allegedly, and it's unfortunate, but across all professional sports, there are just so many rape stories where these guys are they just feel entitled to anything, and no doesn't mean no, and that's where they get their ass in a sling.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you take a look at Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson, Ray Lewis, Greg Hardy, Floyd Mayweather. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and those are just the ones that actually come out, like the stories actually reach the media. There's probably thousands that don't.
Yep. Now, going back in time, apparently this is the anniversary, I heard this on the radio, that Mike Tyson was released from prison after serving 3 years for rape in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. And he beat the shit out of his wife, too. He's a particularly lovely human being.
Yeah. Anything else to close the books on Darren Sharper? And if we never bring him up again, unless he's like shanked in prison, that's perfectly fine by me.
I don't want him shanked in prison. I want him serially raped for the entire 9 years he served. That's what I want.
Now we're going to make the very smooth segment from wishing.
How do you make a smooth segment
wishing
from that?
Consistent sexual assault to a terrible human being for a duration of time, to some quick hits.
In my opinion, that sucked.
And all right, so we're definitely going to bring the mood up here. Going to bring the house lights up. Let's get it going. First one, the NFL Combine happened this weekend. NFL owners' meetings down in Arizona. All the decision makers are down there. So they trotted out a bunch of older players. We'll say it nicely. Michael Sam was there. Did not do great. But what stood out to me was that Michael Bush, a running back from Louisville, played Raiders, Bears. He might have had another stop in there, but he ran a 4.9 140, and they actually picked it up on the camera, said, well, there goes my career. And it's kind of true, because I get that they're making programming, and I know that some of the younger guys have signed contracts with teams now, so it is nice for players to get a second chance like that, but overall, I think it was pretty sad.
Oh, it's pathetic. And those guys actually paid $400 to participate. That's what makes it even worse. It was a complete joke. I didn't watch a second of it. Of course, I also didn't watch that much of the actual, regular combine. But, I mean, this is, I don't know. This is a reach. I'm not that desperate for football. I'm really not.
Well, I understand if it was guys that or like 2-3 years in the league, maybe bounce around some practice squads, have them get an extra look. But when you got Jamal Anderson, who was eighth or ninth.
Oh, wow.
No, not the Dirty Bird Jamal Anderson, but is like
right. I know.
He's like, I think he's almost 40. But it was a guy who was drafted in 2008. He was a top 10 pick, was a bust, been out of the league a couple of years. His 3-cone drill or his 40. I mean, decision makers, GM, scouts, they have 6 years of tape on him. I mean, it's not going to change his mind if he does a great 3-cone drill, you know?
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe I think they're just hanging on. Like, just maybe someone will want me. It's just, it reeks of desperation.
And unfortunately, Michael Sam did not have another good pro day. He didn't rule out the CFL in continuing his football career. I still think that he would make a decent special teams player and then situational pass rusher, because guys who can get to the quarterback are always going to be in demand. But it's almost like the Tebow factor in that guys on the fringe of the roster getting that much media attention, even though he's not bringing it on himself, just like Tebow. GMs aren't going to sign those guys for bottom of the roster.
Exactly. I don't even know what they thought they were going to prove with this. It was just, it was a huge waste of time, and those guys just hissed away $400. They might as well have just like driven down the highway and like threw that $400 out the window.
Well, I knew why they did it, because the NFL was stealing thunder from March Madness. I'm not going to lie, in some of those games during the weekend we're in a lull, I was switching over and watching the Veteran Combine because I knew it was stupid, but I can't turn away because it's football.
I love football, probably more than your average person. No way I would watch a second of that at all.
Football die. All right, Moving over to baseball, and also speaking of no, Alex Meyer will not be starting the season with the big club, even though he's that ace prospect that we're all waiting for. Di, I know you have a love-hate relationship with the Twins. What do you make of the Twins not allowing the young potential ace to start the year with the big club?
That's pretty much a very Twins way of doing things. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't want those young guys that have tons of potential come up, parentheses, too soon. You know, we want to wait until they're, ready, or, they leave and go to another team. So that doesn't surprise me in the least.
All of a sudden, we can bring him up late in the season so he doesn't get a year accrued towards arbitration and save that money.
It's so stupid. Don't even get me started.
Speaking of stupid, the Cubs are doing that with, I forget the guy's name, Bryant, I think it is. The dude's mashing. He has like 9 home runs in spring training, except they're doing the Minnesota Twins thing, not starting him up at the start of the season with the big team because of the money arbitration thing.
Yeah, well, of course.
And unfortunately, the Cubs are almost as sad as the Twins. But something a little bit happier, Twins extend Brian Dozier 4 years, $20 million. Now, they did have Dozier under contract to 2018 anyways, but here they avoid arbitration. It's not that big of a deal. Keeps them happy. Di, what are your thoughts?
It was kind of like I don't get it. I mean, I didn't get excited. I don't give a crap. I mean, let him play his contract out, and then if he's doing well, pay him.
No, I mean, our Minnesota sports teams don't exactly like having people play out their contracts, if you know what I mean.
Oh, well, clearly.
Another
but
shot.
I don't get it. I mean, to me, it didn't. A lot of people. There were two sides, obviously, on Twitter. Some people thought it was great. Some people thought it was dumb. I'm siding on the fact of, why don't you let him play out his contract? And if he's doing well, then you pay him. If he's not, goodbye. I mean, it's the Twins. Like, really?
I think it's kind of a miniature Harrison Smith deal, because yeah, they could have let him play out his contract, but arbitration could have come up, and plus, if he's going to have a big year this year, next year, then you're going to have to pay him a lot more than the 4 years, $20 million, because it's not that big of a contract. It's kind of just like Harrison, where I'm really banking on the Vikings to lock him up this offseason, because if he has the year that we all think is capable of him doing, he's gonna break the bank. He's gonna be the highest paid safety in the NFL.
Okay, but this is not even close to being on the same level as Harrison Smith.
It's a mini.
Mini? It's like, no. I mean, it's Brian Dozier, for sake. I'm sorry, you're going to have to beat that out, Andy. I know you told me I could only have one, and I'm sorry. So
you're a habitual line stepper, so it's okay.
I don't know. This whole thing was like, whatever. It's totally a Twins thing. Like, that's exactly how Twins handle these things. And that's exactly why they've sucked for a really long time.
You keep face dialing me.
What?
You keep face dialing me. You keep your cheek keeps hitting the keypad, and I get a beep.
Sorry?
You never face dialed before?
What?
You never face dialed before?
Oh, like butt dial?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, no, I'm not face dialing because my phone is on the table.
Oh, you have ghosts then.
I'm not doing anything. That's you.
You got ghosts. Moving on. Speaking of Vikings, they did sign a trio of veterans this week. One much older than the others. Taylor Mays, linebacker Casey Matthews, and cornerback Terrence Newman. Now, Mays and Newman have ties to Zimmer. Newman's going to be 37 years old, though, and was also not that great to begin with. Casey Matthews had some time in Andy Reid, Philadelphia, was okay at times, and yes, is brother to that guy in Green Bay who will not be spoken of. And then Taylor Mays is that physical freak out of UFC. Not great in coverage, but pretty solid. Was used as like a hybrid safety linebacker. So, that's something we get excited about. Di, thoughts on the three signings?
I like the Taylor Mays signing. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be a really good fit. You know I'm going to hate on Casey Matthews because of who his brother is. Yeah, no, he should probably just go back to, he should probably go play with his brother in Green Bay. What was the third one?
Terrence Newman, 37-year-old cornerback, played with Bengals, Cowboys, Kansas State guy.
That screams of, like, I'm old and probably at the end of my career, so not super excited about that one either.
I think he's, it doesn't hurt anything. I mean, all of them are on minimal deals, and Terrence Newman, I could see kind of like being Chris Crocker, safety last year. Zimmer guy, older, doesn't make the final roster. I could easily see that. And, Terrence Newman, it's a name from way back in the day. He was paid some decent coin in Dallas, but I don't think he's going to impact cornerback at all. Like the Vikings have the opportunity to take a Trey Waynes or that Marcus Peters kid. I mean, Spielman's never gonna be like, well, I can't draft these two up and coming cornerbacks because we signed Terrence Newman. And I kind of feel that way.
We signed Terrence Newman.
Well, I think Taylor Mays probably has the best chance to contribute in a lot of sub packages. I'm sure Zimmer and him go way back like chiroprac, and then they'll figure something out. But the other two, I mean, Casey Matthews has some upside, sure. Terrence Newman is just going to be a warm body for now, and that's about it.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Yep. Now,
I think Mays is the only one that has a shot coming up training camp on the team.
Yep. Now, I don't want to set you off, but Cowboys signed Greg Hardy, Bears signed Ray McDonald. Real quick, your thoughts?
Of course, the Cowboys signed Greg Hardy because they love a shit show. Mm-hmm. That's like their thing. Like they like to take the worst and the stupidest and the most criminal players and add them to their roster. So, of course they signed Greg Hardy. Mm-hmm. Of course.
Absolutely. And
not at all surprised.
Yeah, I knew that both were going to get jobs again. I know that Ray McDonald had been cleared of both charges and is actually suing one of the accusers in one of the charges. But the fact that he just got in multiple compromising situations it doesn't speak very well to him. And Greg Hardy, we all know about him. I'm just happy the Vikings didn't sign him because there was some scuttlebutt that Rick was kicking around Charlotte area airport for a while, and no, I would have hated that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I want no part of either one of them. I mean, but McDonald's a total douchebag. Hardy's a total douchebag. They shouldn't even be playing. I mean, they shouldn't even have a chance to play.
Someone who has a chance to wrestle with WWE again is Brock Lesnar, who says that he will not return to the UFC and is re-signed with the WWE. Are you excited that one of us is getting back in the ring? She's speechless.
Insert cricket. No, I don't. I mean, seriously, WWE?
Brock Lesnar, former Gopher, former Viking.
Oh, no. So stupid.
Former Viking. He rocked number 69 stupid. Before Jared. He made number 69
it's
cool.
Dumb. It's so dumb. It's not even real. It's you know what it is? It's the male equivalent of what I imagine a soap opera would be.
A pro
I don't
wrestling?
watch soap, so I wouldn't know. But it is the dumbest, stupidest sport ever.
All right, moving on from dumb and stupid and going on to smart and awesome. Amelia Reyno, like we alluded to in the beginning, reading mean tweets on Star Tribune. The video with Randball was gold. I feel like they definitely kept it PC, but they could have gotten really mean, if you know what I mean.
Oh, for sure. I mean, she didn't even read the worst ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was... Okay, there's a couple levels here. It's like, you know, you're a beat writer and you're a public figure, so people feel like they can talk shit to you, but at the same time, they don't talk that way to a lot of male beat writers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sorry, if she made her picks and you made your bracket because of her picks, you can't get pissed at her for it. You're the one that made the decision to follow that. I mean, it was really disturbing, and I loved how they were reading those out. And she was like, "I'm addressing this. I'm putting it out there." She's badass. I love Amelia.
I do. I love her too. Like, she's a great beat writer, which I don't think she gets enough credit for. She's also very funny, very quirky, and also very gorgeous. It's like the complete package.
Ooh, does Andy have a crush?
She looks like, well, I think she's better looking than Master, but don't tell him that. But
no, Master. I like Master. Because Master's got like the mad, like,
swag
thing going, swag. Yeah,
he's got the kick game going. But Amelia kind of looks like a like the funny, cuter little sister of Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Well, I do.
Don't.
Well, boom.
Okay. Well, I mean, yay.
Yay.
I think I don't get it because that's not how I look. So I'm like, I don't get it, but okay.
Gophers women's basketball lose to 9 seed DePaul in the big dance, but future's kind of bright. I mean, you got Amanda Zoe coming back, the pride of Sweden. It's exciting.
Well, I mean, they weren't expected to make the NCAA tournament anyway, and they overachieved, and that's great. And they're going to be, with Benham out, next season is going to be insane. Like, they're going to be legit next season. It's going to be very, very exciting.
Now, they finished 5th in the Big Ten this year, weren't ranked at the end. I think they might be able to creep in. Come on, Stallings.
You know, I think they're going to go big next year. They're going to go big.
They're going to go big or go home. Hopefully it'll be better than a one and done in the tournament, even though it's the first time they made it in a number of years. But congrats to them. Hopefully keep on building.
Absolutely.
Sick. There you go. Last one, I wanted to introduce your boy. Kevin Love on the Dan Patrick Show picked Russell Westbrook as MVP over his teammate and still greatest basketball player in the world, LeBron James. Your thoughts?
Because of Kevin Love. I mean, who in their right mind picks someone else other than your teammate as, I mean, and he's legit MVP. How to do that? You know why? Because that's the most like Kevin Love thing ever.
I think he might have.
Even if you think Westbrook. What? Go ahead.
I think he might have done it because him and Westbrook were teammates at UCLA, but you can't pick against your own teammate. That's like the most politically correct thing that you do. You have to pick your teammate if he's in the running.
Well, it's like, even if Westbrook deserves it, then keep your effing mouth shut. Don't say anything. Don't make a comment. Just say, I don't know, or just like, what? You intentionally piss off LeBron, and you know what, LeBron, you deserve this because you really wanted to have him, and now he's all yours.
Yeah, I care. Now, LeBron, it's funny. He's the most passive-aggressive superstar I've ever seen. Like the way he responded to when the reporters were asking him about what he thought about Kevin Love picking Russell Westbrook, and also I remember a couple weeks back the subtweet of all subtweets that Kevin Love is like, "Don't fit out, just fit in," and blah blah blah. I feel like LeBron is trying to be nice because that's his persona. He's a nice guy. He doesn't have that killer instinct like Kobe or Jordan. And so he's trying to get his point across, but very passive-aggressively. He'd actually fit in Minnesota very well because Minnesota nice just means passive-aggressive. But if this was Jordan, Kevin Love and him would have some words. He'd probably end up punching Kevin Love just like he did Steve Kerr.
And you know what? I'd be okay with that. I think LeBron needs to stop being passive-aggressive and just be aggressive and, lay the law down.
Now, are you of the conspiracy theory that Kevin Love is going to opt out of his Cleveland deal, the 2-year deal, and then come back to Minnesota? Would you accept him?
No. Nope. Don't want him. Goodbye. Don't come back ever. Lock the borders down. Don't let him back in. Don't want him. Nope.
I don't know. I mean, in Minnesota, he would be the number 2 guy, which is a lot better than being the number 3. And he's probably an upgrade over Thaddeus Young and Anthony Bennett. Wait, no, Thaddeus Young's gone. Anthony Bennett, yeah.
Right, exactly. And I think he hates being the number 3.
Mm-hmm.
He hates it. Like, his ego cannot handle it. And I freaking love it because I don't care. I don't want him back, ever. Tap, no back. He's that's his problem right now.
He's a Cali guy. He's going to join up with the Lakers.
Well, I mean, they suck. Go ahead. Go play for the Lakers.
And speaking of which, the Timberwolves are playing the Lakers right now in the toilet bowl, but we will give a score update, but no one really cares. All right, so it's 2 segments.
Come on. It's 38-35 with 4:14 left in the second quarter.
Tank them all. Tank them all. Come on, Flip. We need some ping pong balls.
If they were tanking, they wouldn't have beaten Utah.
If they weren't tanking, they would dress more than 7 bodies. I mean, you can get another couple of D-League guys in here. Come on, Flip. But that's segment 2.
Hurt.
Andy Must Die in the book. Oh, they're all hurt or old, or Rubio. We'll be back with segment 3. We got some random questions, your Twitter questions as well, and we'll also debate who the best-looking Viking is. Andy Must Die, BRB. Purple for the Win podcast is your one-stop shop for the team you hate that you love. That's right, dedicated to the pain and pleasure that is the Minnesota Vikings. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube for our weekly and bi-weekly mediocrity. And, of course, there's always purpleftw.com because, aside from nipple clamps and chains and whips, cheering for the Purple People Eaters is probably the most pleasurable pain you can experience on this planet. So come on in for the mediocre analysis and the more mediocre humor. purpleftw.com. That's right, purpleftw.com.
Straight cash, homie.
And we're back for the third and final quarter, period, whatever you want to call it. Andy Must Die, episode 7. And children are meant to be seen, not heard. What movie is that from, Di?
I have no idea, but I agree.
But it never happens that way.
No, they're never quiet. They're never silent. Never. You'll
Still,
learn.
there's still
You're
time,
about to
Di.
learn.
There's still time, Di. You could pop out another one.
No. You know why?
What?
Those parts are gone.
You could have Ronda Rousey be your surrogate.
No. Nope.
Fine.
I've got a, almost 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. I'm done. Like, I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Andy, you're just barely starting.
Well, the only reason you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel is because you got cataracts.
No, I don't.
Boom, roasted. Speaking of tunnel vision, I got in a very narrow debate on the Twitter machine today, and I put out from the Purple for the Win account just a poll question, as I want to do. Retweet, blah, favorite for blah. This one I highlighted as a controversial poll of the day because I knew it would probably get some heat. But the question is, right now, at this moment, today, Vikings fans, would you trade Teddy for Rodgers? And retweet for no, favorite for yes. Dia, what do you think the score is so far?
I would hope it was widely in favor of saying no, because that's my vote. Hell no, I wouldn't trade Teddy. No way.
60 no's, 16 yeses.
Yes.
Although I suspect some of those favorites
what?
might be Packer fans.
Say those 16 people, they should be, deported to Wisconsin.
Now,
Make it happen, Andy. Make it happen.
I wouldn't completely rule it out if the Vikings were right on the edge of a Super Bowl.
What?
I love Teddy and I love the future, except he had a great 5 games. Rodgers, as much as I hate on him, he's going to be the truth for the next 6 or 7 years. So if the Vikings were very, very close, I might say yes, but since it's such a young team that Teddy can grow with, I'm on the no train. But if this was 2009 and we didn't have Favre, I would consider it.
That wasn't the question, though.
I know. I like talking hypotheticals, though. But do you think – I would never match up cap-wise. But anyways, let's get to something a little bit more superficial, ranking the top 5 Vikings looks-wise. Now, Di, you mentioned on Twitter today that you are the reef of ranking hotness.
Yes, it was funny. Come on, it was funny.
All right, so what do you got? Who would your top 5 be?
Do you want them in order?
You can just talk out loud. I plan to now. I'm fully comfortable in my heterosexuality that I can talk about how good-looking men are. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I've got some pretty strong opinions on who I think the most handsome ones are. But why don't you kick it off?
All right. Well, I've got Anthony Barr, Harrison Smith.
Now, is this from
Matt Asiat.
Is this from 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
Well, I mean, do you want me to rank him so 1 is Anthony Barr.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
2 is Andrew Sandejo.
Oh.
3 is Harrison Smith. 4, Matt Asiata. And 5, Brian Robinson after his haircut.
Now, I think the Asiata one is a bit of a shocker. What do you find appealing about 44?
Muscles and tattoos.
Oh, all right, so you're one of those. So apparently that does it for you.
Yeah.
Fine. All right, so my top 5. Sendejo's got to be number one. Because, I mean, the guy, come on. Number two is Anthony Barr, so we're just flipped on the 1 and 2. There's something.
No, Anthony Barr is hotter. Anthony Barr is hotter.
Well, there's
He's better.
Something about being 6'5" and being able to run a 4.6 40 and then looking that good in a suit is just extremely unfair in life. Says the 5'7", 5'8" guy who runs a 6'4" 40. But anyways, next, all right, so 3 left. I'm going to go outside the box a little bit. I'm going to go Everson because Everson is jacked. And there's something to be said about that. Plus he has tattoos, Di.
Well, I mean, I do like that.
4 is a little bit off the board as well, but Greenway. Greenway's a good-looking dude. A little bit longer in the tooth. But
no!
I think once he gets some gray hair going, like you know how Brett Favre kind of looked like a doofus in his younger days, but once he got the salt and pepper thing going, he started getting really appealing to the Vikings' faithful women. You just got crickets.
That was crickets.
No, all right, so salt and pepper doesn't do you for you, Di? Or do you like jet black? Do you make your man use Grecian formula? Is he painting his hair?
My man doesn't have hair, so
oh yeah, that's right. He's
it doesn't
bald.
make a difference. Right.
All right, and the last one, I'm gonna go Teddy.
What?
He's just got.
I love Teddy, but he's not attractive. He's not a good-looking dude.
He's just got like this cute, innocent, just look to him that I think the female would find appealing.
No. And so you leave off Harrison Smith and Brian Robinson.
Yes.
Really?
Brian Robinson looks like a guy who works at a bait shop, which he probably will own several of after he hangs it up. No, but
after his haircut, before the haircut, I would agree with you. After the haircut, hot.
No, but Teddy looks like you can't sleep on the quarterback either. Quarterback is the BMOC.
But no. I'm I'm leaning toward the Eversons or something like that. I see it on board with that, but not the Teddy thing. No, sorry.
Plus with Everson, he's got the money. See, Sendejo's not making anything. Barr and Teddy are on the rookie contracts. Who'd I list next? Greenway. Greenway's got money, but not after he restructures. So
no,
he's got
not
that.
hot. He's not hot. He's not.
Fine.
Because his wife totally kicked my ass in the body pump class. That's a why. Like, she totally kicked my ass. So he kind of is, not my fave.
Chad's wife is a good-looking lady, too.
She's, oh my God, hot.
They're just good-looking people all together. All right, let's just agree that they're all good-looking people. Now, I was going to go the bottom 5, except I feel like that's a little mean-spirited.
That would be fun.
Yep.
But you didn't tell me that, so I didn't prepare for that. But.
Well, no, it's good because that's mean-spirited. Because I feel like you would have went offensive lineman, except they have to be that size, and once they retire, they slim down. I mean, look at Matt Burke now.
But he was so much more attractive when he was like huge.
No.
Yes, he was my favorite. Like, I still have him at those jerseys. He's my favorite.
All right. Speaking of my favorite, we got some Twitter questions from my favorites. First one is from you. Favorite workout song. Now, since you asked it, I'm just going to put mine out there. Come on, Eileen.
You are.
Shut
up, and you're an asshole. I'm going to make you bleep out. You are an asshole. You have to bleep out all of that.
From this moment.
I hate you. You suck. Shut up.
Fine.
Shut up.
Di, what would your favorite workout song be?
Well, you didn't even give me your real one.
Fine. Mine is Sabotage by Beastie Boys.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. Mine is Stronger by Kanye.
You would. You're kind of like the female version of Kanye.
What in the hell does that mean?
Except you'd be married to Chris Humphries, though. That's how that works?
No, I would never be married to that douche.
Anyway, Junk Wax Twins, one of our favorites as well. Which Minnesota sports athlete would you have play in another sport, and what position? Now, my answer is going to be an easy one, because before we got Teddy, I would have put Maurer in for Ponder. Even though Maurer has concussion issues, I still would have done it because of what could have been. The pride of Cretin-Durham Hall.
That's interesting.
Di, how about yourself?
I went with, I'd like to see Andrew Wiggins play wide receiver for the Vikings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's an easy one, too. Basketball to football. That'd be awesome. Ooh.
Yep. He'd be rocking it.
But Zach LaVine, with his speed, could probably do some damage as well.
I almost went with him, but, Andrew's just, a little more mature. And
how about we get them both? I would take Zach LaVine over Jarius Wright in the slot right now. I don't even care that Zach LaVine might not even know what football is.
He probably has never caught a football in his life, but who cares, right?
He's got sick hops. All right. Next three are from Nick and Son. Dream, city, state, or country you would live in that is not Minnesota, Di.
Okay, so I kind of cheated. I said New York City with a winter place in Hawaii.
That's kind of lame.
What?
I picked
What's yours?
Santa Barbara.
Oh, that's not lame.
It's not lame at all, except all the California state taxes because they're a broke state. Kind of suck. But still a gorgeous location. The next one was also from Nick. Favorite type of cookie? What you got?
Ooh. I kind of like the toffee Old English cookie. That's my jam.
Not to stereotype, Di, but that is such an old white lady cookie. Where do you got the toffee cookies?
Are you saying I'm an old white lady?
We got the toffee cookies.
I will drive down there and kick your ass. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to. I guess if I'm buying the stereotypes, I would say mine is a fortune cookie.
Andy, that's such an Asian thing.
I'm actually going to pick.
That's an old Asian. That's an old Asian thing.
Frozen Thin Mints for the win.
Oh my God, they're so good.
That's a pretty good one. Last one of the tour questions. How do you ask a girl to prom? Nick really wants to know because even though he's 30, I think he really wants to go to one this year.
I have never asked a girl to prom, so
well,
I got nothing.
Back in your day when they were called formals, how were you asked?
I never went.
What?
Nope.
Did your school not have prom that year?
No, we did.
What was the name of your school?
I'm not saying.
Damn.
But yes, we did. We had prom.
Now, all right, so you didn't go because were you the rebel? Were you the one drinking daddy's liquor out in the parking lot?
Duh.
And see, the thing is about stealing liquor from your parents' liquor cabinet, you never grab the good stuff because you have no idea what's good in the first place. So you end up grabbing like a 3-year-old bottle of apricot brandy, except you think it's the coolest thing in the world.
Well, I will tell you this story. This is this is a good story. So I had a friend spending the night for my birthday, and the parents were out at card club or whatever, so we were all alone. And we decided to take all of a whole bunch of liquor and just pour it in a glass, and then add Mountain Dew, and drank that, and that did not end well.
I could see that not ending well. Now, do you still hate Mountain Dew to this day?
Yes. Yes, I do. I would
it's
never,
so weird how
ever
that
drink that.
Yeah.
Funny how that happened.
Yeah. All right, since we're on drinking stories, in college, when we were young, before I actually knew how to drink, freshman year, we would just get a bunch of random liquor and mix it together, and then do the sugar Kool-Aid powder. So it would taste like nothing, but it was pure alcohol. What wasn't the best thing in the world?
No, probably not.
I still have an aversion to grape Kool-Aid.
Well,
mostly because black cherry is the best anyways, but that's another topic for another day. All right, so we're getting off the field. Di, anything exciting for you coming up this week? Life, writing, what you got?
We're moving on Friday.
Yeah.
Yay! No, it's good. It's very good.
Good. Now,
it's very good.
What's your role in the moving? Are you humping with the day labor, or are you just telling people where boxes go?
I'm the director.
Like a movie?
Yep. I say, this goes here, this goes there, put that there, you do this. That's my jam.
Oh, it sounds like easy life. Now, are your kids going to be helping move?
Well, I mean, they're not that super helpful, so probably not.
They can move pillows.
Well, I mean, they're going to move their, whatever they can, yeah.
Di, you strike me as a person who likes a lot of pillows. Like on your bed, you got like 8. On your couches, you have like 6, and then you have like a plastic cover on your couch. Maybe not that far, but you seem like a pillow person.
I love pillows. Pillows are awesome.
I can read them.
No plastic covers, but lots of pillows.
Now, are you the type of person who uses a duvet?
Nope.
Okay, because I still don't really know what a duvet is. I know that Cordero wears one when we were playing in the Dome over his dreadlocks.
No, that's a do-rag.
No, it's a duvet. Like, it literally, it clumped his dreads up in the back. It was a duvet.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't even get that. That's crazy.
When is the long-awaited tribute piece to Ted going on Daily Norseman?
I don't know.
I will.
We haven't discussed it as a staff. Like, it just became. I will probably do my own homage to Ted because he has been seriously.
Will you remember me?
He's been a fantastic mentor and a huge support system for me, and I'm super sad that he's gone, but we'll carry on.
You and Chris should get together and then do one of those tribute things like they do at the Oscars in memoriam, where it's got like the sad music and it's got the black and white photo.
Nice.
A picture of Ted holding a fish.
No, well, maybe. Maybe we'll do that.
There you go. Some gratuitous pluggage from me. Interviewed Todd Stussy yesterday. That's on Purple for the Win and Vikings territory. And do you know that he has an MBA from Northwestern?
I did actually because I follow him on Twitter, and as much as I seriously swore his name like over and over and over and over, he's a good guy. Like he's a really good guy, and I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's into some really interesting stuff right now, and just chatting about him. I didn't bring up the fact that my father, my grandfather as well, would cuss at him holding false starts, etc. But he also had some really great and touching stories about Corey Stringer, and that's Corey passed away when I was about 16. That's something that really hit me because he was one of my favorite players back in the day. But some good stuff from Todd there. Also, I got part 2 of my love-hate piece of Randy Moss on Vikings Story going up Saturday. I haven't read it yet, but I'll cobble something together. Writing is hard, Di. I'm not.
Well, you might want to do that. I'm just saying you might probably.
I'm not built to be a writer like you guys because Lindsay Young, she does she reviews some of my stuff, and it comes back redder than like a Bloody Mary sometimes. Because
she's. There you go.
I'm a lover, not a writer, so I basically just write down what I'm thinking in my head, and it sounds good at the time, but apparently I'm just committing like grammar seppuku on the page.
Yeah, well, that happens. You own it, so
I talk good. I talk real good.
That's awesome.
All right.
But not really.
All right. Anything else to say
That's
before we go?
No.
All right. Follow us on Twitter at Andy Must Die, all one word, DI. Subscribe, rate us on iTunes, on the YouTube. Maybe you've heard of it. The Stitcher as well. It's kind of new and different. We're every place, and the website, as always, andymustdie.com. I am Andy Carlson, and she is...
Di Murphy.
Hey, we're working on that timing. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome week. Drink lots of Mountain Dew. Di's orders. We go. Bye-bye.
The music was created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, check out soundcloud.com/Deeb.
We needed to get this right.